Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Occult Perspectives. So, I had mentioned in one of the videos I did the other day that I was going to talk about tips on visualizing the archangels. So, let me get into it. So, as you work on exercises like the LBRP and the Lesser Invoking Ritual of the Pentagram, over time, your visualizations should get stronger. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. And through this visualization process of visualizing the archangels, sometimes it actually helps if you visualize other things simultaneously. Eventually, you'll begin to build what is called your astral temple. I'm actually just going to go ahead and show you. This is a gift I got for my fiance for Christmas, but I was kind of lighting it up and seeing how it looked on the camera here, and it looks really cool. When you start getting into these strong visualizations, when you're meditating and stuff, the etheric light, it will seem to be real bright like this, and it will be really beautiful within your mind's eye. That shows us how powerful, the power of manifestation is. Just thinking about something or just meditating on something. So as your practices advance, we're going to get into a couple different tips on how to help you visualize the archangels. One, though, is that you begin to start visualizing like an astral temple. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Here I have a few pictures I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn this phone here. Hopefully you can see that right there. See that checkerboard floor? That is the Temple of Time from the Ocarina of Time. And almost what I visualize, it's almost like a celestial version of that. It's very bright, white light, much like the angels. They're just brimming with such bright white energy. It's quite beautiful. There's a ancient looking temple there. That one's almost more like Egyptian looking, but you get the idea. So as you're visualizing these archangels in the four quarters, though, here's another one. You don't necessarily only have to think about trying to visualize the archangel themselves. Think about some of the correspondences that go with each. In the West with Gabriel, you could also visualize waterfalls or an ocean. You could be surrounded, by an ocean. If you're invoking Gabriel in all four directions, you could see that in all four directions. But if Gabriel is normally behind you during the LBRP, so, you could see the ocean, you could even see, ocean creatures, ocean animals. A lot of the times I like to visualize the symbols of the elements. So with water, you'll have the upside down triangle and it's blue, alongside the Archangel Gabriel. You can envision like the cup, since the cup of the tarot, symbolizes water, the emotions. So Gabriel holds the grail in her hands or his hands, depending on how you visualize the angels. And sometimes they are not, I don't always visualize them the same. I know I've said that before. So if you kind of take all those things into consideration, go back. If you haven't watched my other videos on the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram and these other, rituals, or really they're just spiritual exercises, they become more, it's more groundwork for, your actual ritual work. But even these exercises alone are very powerful and bring about, change in your psyche and help you to remain more focused and more clear. You become more aware. You're aligning yourself with these divine energies. So, you can envision the zodiac, some of the animals of the zodiac, like the Leo, the lion. I will often envision in the south with Archangel Michael, and and it's the element of fire, so you could envision volcanoes, all these more fire element, physical landscapes, mountains. And I'm looking at Death Mountain now from Zelda's. I'm looking at the computer. So all of these things, you have the bull in the north with Uriel, you have the lion in the south with Michael, the phoenix in the west with Gabriel, and the man of Aquarius in the east. Or you can envision, of course, the white dragon. There's different visualization techniques, and not everybody has to use the same ones. It's more whatever works for you, whatever manifests these archetypal forces, which really, exist within and without us. It's both. It's both within you, and it produces an external form. And you're in the presence of divinity, so you should always be respectful, of the fact that you are even admitted to behold of this divine beauty, which is within us, because if we're able to see it, it exists within us. But it's also in such a higher degree of vibration than where we currently are. We need to remain humble. Okay. And then there's one more tip. This is the main tip that helps me visualize, the colors of each direction. I have a lot of trouble sometimes visualizing blue, and I used to often see Gabriel and Uriel both as kind of like these darker colored angels, because blue was really hard for me to visualize. And as we know, each of these archangels have kind of a darker side to them, a more strict, it would be like a more Geburah aspect rather than a Hesed aspect of these angels, less the mercy and more the severity side of them. It's all just different degrees, same with the angels and demons. They're varying degrees of the one existence. It's important to keep that in mind as well. But this, I'm going to show you a picture too, another Zelda picture, is imagining when you have this astral temple, and it can become quite beautiful, once you build up all these images in your mind and you're adding to them, remembering Metatron above too, of course, and Sandalphon below, and working with the tree of archangels and such, you can really build up, you start to build up your own foundation, your own plane through the doorway of the mind. But to help you visualize all these things more, and especially the colors, I will often envision just a little bit of water on the ground. So there's a reflection, across the checkerboard floor, and I'll use kind of some of these pictures as hopefully you can see that. This is where you battle the shadow link. But just the way that how you've got kind of like this temple-like room, and then there's water on the floor, so kind of taking all these different influences into account, the water, it helps you see, it lights up, so to speak, the color of each of these archangels on the astral plane. So that is really the final tip I have for you. I didn't plan on this video being very long anyway. I was just trying to see real quick if there's any other pictures that could maybe give you assistance and really, pop out. Nope, I think that about covers it. And just allow your imagination to do the rest. Oh, actually, before I end this video, I do want to mention I've been having some fun. If any of you have played Super Mario 64, there's a lot of kind of dark lore and creepypasta stuff surrounding that. I recommend you check that out on YouTube. There's somebody who even did like a real occult breakdown of all the symbology in Super Mario 64. So I don't know if I'll actually take the time to, do much of that, because it's already been done so well. And I've covered a lot of video game stuff on this channel already. I don't think that's my wider audience, though. But as you can see, here I'll try to pull up a picture of as soon as you walk into the castle, in Super Mario 64. Of course, it's already got this, it's the same kind of deal. It's the whole checkerboard floor thing, and there's that sun on the floor. I wonder how many rays it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It looks like it's 16 rays, if I'm counting that right. So whatever the correct symbology of that is, you've got the coins with the pentagrams on them. There's just a lot of cool information in regards to that game as well that you should check out in some videos. There's so many cool YouTubers, doing lots of neat stuff. There's just so much information to accumulate out there, and even if some of it's kind of cheesy or whatever, because a lot of the conspiracy stuff I'll laugh at, and just seeing where people are just forcing connections a little bit. But of course, we know that as people who study the esoteric and stuff, that those kind of things affect and influence everything in society, everything from video games to the movies. Of course, it's very strong in Hollywood. So yep, all of those things are really just more distractions here on the physical plane. I mean, I love video games, but yeah, and they're taking from principles, sacred principles from these mystery schools, and people don't really even notice it a lot of the time. I didn't know about it growing up, but it's cool to go back and make all these connections and see how it all rolls together. So all right, I think that's it for this short little YouTube video. I hope some of these tricks and tips help you out a little bit. So good luck in your practices, as always. Thank you for watching the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and give me a like. Peace and love. Until next time.